Okay guys, so we're getting ready to start our design notebook, and that means you're going to have to read a ruler. You're going to need to know how to divide an inch into equal sections. And we're going to work with dividing that standard inch into 16 sections. So I'm going to do an illustration, and I want you to follow along, and I want you to create this tool for yourself that you can use anytime throughout the semester so that you can figure out what those lines mean on your ruler. Okay, so I'm going to position my camera. Give me just a minute. And at first this is going to probably look upside down to you, but I'm going to try to adjust it so that you can see everything that I'm doing. But first, I want you to start with a regular standard sheet of paper. And the first thing that we're going to do is fold that piece of paper in half. Some of you like to call that hamburger style fold. And now when we open up that paper, how many sections do we have? Well, we have 2 sections, okay? So our first section is 1 out of 2 sections. So with a pencil, a pen, whatever, on this line, I want you to write 1 out of 2, okay? So it's going to look like this, 1 out of 2, okay? We're going to fold that paper again in the same direction. So now what happens when we open up our folder, our paper? How many sections do we have? Well, we have 4 sections, okay? So this is 1 out of 2, 2 out of 2, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4. So all I'm going to do, and I want you to follow along on each line, number that line out of how many folds we have. 1 out of 4 sections. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to put 2 out of 4 sections underneath our 1/2. And then 3 out of 4 sections. So make sure your paper looks like this. We have 4 sections and we numbered each line. 1, 2, 3 out of 4. Okay? Fold the paper again. We started out with 2 sections. We went to 4 sections. How many sections are we going to have when we unfold it this time? If you said 8, you are correct. Okay, so we have all these folds, right? And this is 1 out of 8, 2 out of 8, 3 out of 8, 4 out of 8, 5 out of 8, 6 out of 8, 7 out of 8, and then 8 out of 8 is one whole piece of paper. So I want you to go ahead, label each line. You're just having to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 out of 8, 2 out of 8, 3 out of 8, 2 out of 8, 3 out of 8, 4 out of 8, 5 out of 8, 6 out of 8, 7 out of 8. So take a look at your paper. Does it look like mine? How many sections did we say a standard inch has? Regular ruler, standard inch has 16 sections. So what's that mean we have to do here? That means we have to fold it again. So we have all the folds that we started with. And one last long skinny fold. So now we're going to have 16 sections. We're going to have to number all of those lines. Every time I have a number where there's already a section, I'm adding that in, okay? I'm not taking anything away or skipping. 1 out of 16. 2 out of 16. 3 out of 16. 4 out of 16. 5 out of 16. 6 out of 16. 7 out of 16. 8 out of 16. 9 out of 16. 10 out of 16. 11 out of 16. 12. 13. 14. And 15 out of 16. Take a moment, pause the video if you need to, label out all your parts and pieces. Okay, now I want us to talk about what we have when we've got additional numbers below. In math, what do you call this? Equivalent fractions. This line has not changed. It is the same line if we identify it as 1 out of 2 sections, 2 out of 4 sections, 4 out of 8 sections, or 8 out of 16 sections. So what's the difference? Well, 2 out of 4, 4 out of 8, 8 out of 16 are not in the simplest form. What is one way that we can tell if our fractions here are in the simplest form? The numerator will be what kind of number? It's going to be an odd number. Take a look. 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 7, 1, 9, 5, 11, 3, 13, 7, 15. These are all odd numbers. So if you built your paper like mine, you could probably draw a line. I think I'm going to use a different color here. And everything above the blue line is in its simplest form. So if you have a numerator that is even, like the 10 over 16, you know right away that's an even number and an even numerator and an even denominator. So I must be able to simplify. And that's great, be able to simplify. If you have to count your lines on your ruler, if you have to count these individual lines out of 16, that's okay. If you count and you get to 10 out of 16, know that you have to reduce it to its simplest form. This tool can help you in reducing to its simplest form if you have to count each individual line. With practice, you'll come to recognize the lines. But that's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that's going to take time. So use this tool, keep it with you. Watch this video as many times as you need to, and let's learn how to read that ruler.